The better off. Thank you, Judge. Honestly, go fuck yourself, sir. You don't say that, okay? You don't lose a trial where a jury acquits someone and finds overwhelmingly not guilty and say, I gave my sincere obligation to look into this, and I'm telling you all I saw when she's guilty. Again, respectfully, go fuck yourself.
Is that a fair characterization of what you said? Your Honor.
I want to hear objection before I hear a word out of your mouth.
Objection.
Overruled. Sit down. Oh, I said overruled. Sit down.
Swear again like that. That was, no, I mean, whatever. That was, I shouldn't have done that.
A few moments later.
You, as a prosecutor, have got to be out of your fucking mind.
Nose.
Dude, Jimmy, look at those ears.
The ears don't bother me as much.
No, I don't trust a man. I don't trust a man with a lobe like that. No,
really,
not a fucking chance.
The mouth is butthole to me.
Very thin, paper thin.
The nose.
Oh, the nose.
The brows.
Well, listen, I will tell you though, I kind of like a fucked up nose on a guy.
I like a big old honker. I like a big nose.
Old nose. Give me that big bitch. You know,
yeah,
like, I'm into it.
Come over here, cluck cluck.
Yeah.
I see some chickens that went moving on up in my biz, cluck cluck. You gotta be with the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, kids.
And I go, oop, clutch, clench, kegel. We did it all. And I go, oh, and what happened? And they go, well, we just got 4,000 plus pages, bitch. And I said, stop it. Show me it. Take me to Unimpound Town immediately, if not sooner. So what happens?
The bitch is here.
Why are you at a football game? Are you a Fonz correspondent?
Well, no, because it's only for men over 30. Okay? Have a great night, boys. Fuck off.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Hey, Blues Clues, motherfucker.
Hello, lovies. Happy Tuesday. 'Tis Talk Shit Tuesday. It is July 14th, 2026. Crack open your Diet Cokes. Take a chewable immune support for health and wellness. And prepare for a day. How are we? Are we? Oh, look at already. We're starting out the gate with Jill, not Angel. I mean, not Daniels, but Angel. Clutch. She's clenched. But are you kegling? That's the real question, Jelly Bean. I think you are. All right. Listen, I love you. How was Sunday? Do we remember Sunday? Wasn't it such a good day? The world might be healing. Babes, okay? We're in weird spaces. The times are tough. But when we have a Sunday service, when we have a Sunday brunch with Mr. Betterow, I like to think that the winds of change are sailing towards where we need them to be. And, oh, yes, maniacal miss. Am I loving the World Cup? You know it. I watched today as Spain dominated the French, which I liked because I have an irrational dislike for French soccer or the French. Maybe I don't think that's true. I like baguettes. Clearly she's in Thickum season. I don't like a croissant. I think that is rude and it pretends to be a pastry, but it's not. It's like, fuck you. You know, what are you doing? You're flaky. You're dry. You know, doesn't do anything for me. I do like a raspberry Danish, a lemon Danish, but a croissant, I could leave. I like a bagel, a bagel. I don't know. Just saying. Oh, okay. Megan. Hello? Am I here? Can you see me? Oh, I don't even know. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hello. No. Still no. Good God. Okay. Am I back? All right. I might be back. Oh, what is happening? Sorry, guys. All right. If I was me, where would I be? Well, I am here, clearly. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can turn the camera back on. Am I here? Okay. Hi. Hi, guys. All right. That was absolutely Norfolk County. There's something. Mass State Police gets into my Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter where I am. Like, I'm quite literally next to the router, I think. Okay. All right, we're here. There she is. She is here. Chase. We're coming back. Revenge of the Pastry. Yes, it was a fucking croissant. A croissant is trying to take me out. Okay. All right, so listen. I have a lot to talk about. We had a great weekend. We're watching the World Cup. The French and their croissants are doing weird shit in the Wi-Fi. And we had court today. We had court yesterday. There's so much court happening that I would be lying to you if I said that I'm caught up on everything, because I'm working 3 jobs. So, babe, I didn't watch court today. I'm going to watch it. Maybe we'll watch it together. Probably not, because I'm glitchy. Yes, but we will talk that shit. That is what we shall do. Shit, we shall talk, Megan. Okay. One other thing before we get into something that I think I discovered. Is she some sort of, I don't know, mastermind? Is my legal nurse consulting coming through my veins right now? Yes. Is it coming from me to you through the World Wide Web? Hopefully. Hopefully I can figure this out. But before I get into that, on Saturday, I went to a funeral home. I was Veda. There was no Macaulay Culkin. He can't see without his glasses. I was like, oh, no. But we went to see a medium, and it was at Amy Funeral Lady's house. Like, quite literally, her funeral home is a house. It's a big house. It looks like a castle. And she invited us, and it was just like all middle-aged women and a husband. And we were hanging out, and we were there for mediums. And you know who I was there for. I was there for Nana Phyllis. I was like, Nana Phyllis, talk to me. Tell me everything, because I feel you and I miss you. And I was like, she's going to come through and she's going to talk to me. But it was so interesting because the energies that came through, and I will tell you, I do have a skeptical bone in my body when it comes to certain things. I am like, is it real? I feel like it was. And I feel like I have faith in things being real, and how this medium connected to the women that were there was a profoundly powerful experience. And in particularly, there were 2 readings that I heard because I was on their side. There was 2 different kind of sides. And their first was one of our lovies, Heather. She's in the chat often, and she's a P1D1 for us. She had a man come through, and it was like a fatherly figure. And they connected to her through the trials and what she's faced in her life, and that he recognized her, and he recognized how strong she was. And he said he was so proud of her. and that he knew everything, and brought up specific things, which I won't, because if Heather wants to share it, she can. But like, to have that specific person come through, and a man who was in your life and is no longer, but like I see you, and I know what you've been through. And it moved me to the hair on my arm standing up. I was like, oh my gosh. It was just very profound. And then there was a young man, a young energy that came through. And it was like in the late teens or early 20s. And I remember the medium saying that although he was outgoing and he played sports, he sometimes felt like he didn't fit in, and that he only had like 3 or 4 friends that he would trust. And he like held on to those friends. And she said that he had figurines on his like bureau at home. And it wasn't like children figurines. It was like, she didn't know how to describe it really. She was like, it's like for collectibles, and this young man had them. And it connected with a lady from North Shore Nacho Night who I met. Her name is Lynn, and she was a hot fucking ticket. And then the medium said he's like a little bit embarrassed, or he was embarrassed that his face was on things. And then Lynn and her friend started to like cry because they had done standouts for him just the weekend before. And his name is Joey. And he was, I believe, 21 years old. And he passed away of an overdose. But there's an awful lot more that goes with that story. And there's corruption, and there is heartbreak, and there is a misuse of power by a trusted person in a community whom is alleged to have done horrific things to young boys. And he had dealt with that for years. And it was just interesting because Lynn was supposed to be somewhere with Joey's mom, and that's her best friend. And it was just like, when I tell you, you couldn't hear a pin drop. It was everyone, all the moms, all the women, we were like locked in. And it was heavy. But he said he was okay. And that he wasn't in pain. And that he was watching and he was there. And I just felt like in that moment, it was a gift, and a gift that needed to come through his mom's best friend. And that I'm sad that she wasn't there, but I hope that he was able to give his mom and his mom's best friend some peace in knowing that he is good, and he was always good. And that when you lose the ones that you love in such a tragic way, it just brings things into perspective for you. That, all of us whether you're male or female, whether you have children or you have children that you love, we do the best that we can to raise our kids. Yet addiction knows no socioeconomic class. It knows no race. It knows no religion. It can and will ravage families and devastate and take away people who should have been with us. And as a mother, my biggest fear in life is not having my girls, is like having something happen to them. You know, like, because we can get through so many things. You can get through so much, and you can try to have your faith can carry you, but it's like no one signs up for losing somebody in that manner. And no one thinks when you're looking at your little boy when he's playing t-ball, or when you're looking at your daughter in her dance lessons, when she's holding the bar and twirling, that someday, God forbid, you make one choice, and that could be the last choice because of fentanyl and because of like pressed pills. And I mean, like, it could keep me up at night. I'm not even joking. There's not any comical or satire about what I'm saying. It is 100%, I believe, every American parent's biggest fear. And it should be. And I just think that we all could be a little bit kinder and a little bit softer and have a little bit more empathy for others, because we don't know how it feels to walk in anyone else's shoes, and you don't know what battles people are struggling with. And it just was a real big reality check, and it was a humanity check. And the room was filled with a lot of love. And so I wanted to say to Lynn and to Joey's mom that, like, I'm so sorry. And if I'm able to discuss the circumstances further and in detail around his death, I would be happy to. And in order to prevent something like what happened to Joey happen to other boys or other girls in Woburn or any of surrounding, anywhere in the Commonwealth or anywhere in this country. So that's why we talk about things, and we can agree and we can disagree, but hopefully the humanity of it all, we can find it. We can find it together, you know? And yeah, George 1227 says everyone has a story, and a story that none of us know. Or you think you know, but you have no idea about what goes on in anyone's life. And I don't know, it just gave me pause, and it made me sad, and it made me happy at the same time that I was able to witness that. And I think it was very impactful for every single person who was there. You know, absolutely, Rhonda. And love is always the answer. Like, love, like, I know how annoying can I be? Very, very annoying. But a little grace and a little love to people goes a long way. And And thank you again to Amy, Funeral Lady, for hosting that. And I hope that when she does it next, that I could let our lovies know if anybody would like to speak to somebody. That would be amazing. There were so many other spirits that came forward that I got to ask at the end about Nana, about my Nana Phyllis. And it was funny because Lynn, the lady who received the message regarding Joey, was like, she has like a gift too. And she was saying that about my grandfathers sitting down the Cape, which my grandfathers both died when I was baby. And she was like, they enjoyed each other and they hung around each other. And the girls, like, they would be smoking cigars. And then she described my Nana's patio set to like a T. Like you remember the plastic with it would be like, it was like straps and it was blue one way and then white the other in the checkers. I don't remember it. It was 1988. I wasn't even there. I mean, I was there. I have pictures of me there, but like that was the set. And I had pictures of my grandfather sitting on the back patio and like they got along and they would be egging people on and talking shit and busting balls and smoking cigars and waiting to be fed by the women. So she was picking up on that. And I said to her 5 minutes before, I was like, oh, I have pictures of it, but I don't remember them. And then the medium said, your grandmother said you have a lot of pictures of her. And I was just going through Nana, the box of pictures. My Nana always had a box and like old Polaroids. And I remember being a little girl and sitting at the kitchen table with her and asking her, Nana, can we go through the box? Because that would be like my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother and Mitzi the cat who used to walk with her tail all the way. She'd follow my Nana's Uncle Tick all the way down to the main street in Brighton. And I just have like a lot of really good memories and like quite literally photographic memory of a lot of my family history due to Nana going through that box with me. And she said something about the pictures. And she said that Nana was very like put together and like well-dressed and elegant and all the things that I am not. And she never swore and she was proper. But she was also the most warm and the rock and home base. Oh. And she just said that she was proud of me. And she said that that she sees me and that, you know, to just keep going, Kim. Just always keep going. And yeah, so that was very nice. It makes you feel close and it makes you feel like, I don't know, like sometimes you feel lost and then you feel close to somebody who you love, who guided you or who was the biggest part of your life. And then they're gone. So it's moving and I will be very thankful for that experience. And I hope that other people get a chance to have that experience too. So it was great. Okay. So thank you, Amy Funeral Lady. Oh, whew, I'm done. Also, next week, we are going to be starting to cover, like going from what, guys, we are all over the place. Who is she? Next week is the beginning of a trial that has been near and dear to my heart, unfortunately, since it happened. And that is the Lindsay Clancy case. And I feel like I have done my best to cover it humanely, respectfully, and while honoring the loss of Cora, Dawson, and Callum, while also recognizing that there was a profound lack of coordinated and continuity in care for Lindsay, and that she sought help, and that she sought inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment, partial day programs, and she was medicated. And she was medicated to a point where you question what was the end goal, because she ended up right before the tragic events back on the same meds as she had started with in outpatient care that had made her feel the signs and symptoms of the postpartum depression and then a possible psychosis that resulted in taking the lives of her 3 beautiful children and then leaping from a window in her Duxbury home. After the Harmony Montgomery case, like, I didn't want to cover any loss of children because it's too much. It's too much for my heart. But I feel that the outcome of this case and how it is presented could make impacts and changes in postpartum care throughout the country, throughout the Commonwealth. And where those red flags, where we see them, how are we to move forward? How are we to support mothers? And it's already embarrassing enough. It's already, you already feel shame that you're struggling with something that is supposed to be natural. It is supposed to come natural to all of us. And when the anxiety or the OCD or the depression or the fear and the guilt and the shame creep in addition to lack of sleep, fluctuating hormones, it's a recipe for a bad outcome. And I hope that education and getting to the bottom of what really happened can be the first step in hoping that it doesn't occur again. And breaking the stigma of women, of all mothers, that if you need help, you are not alone. And Iche says postpartum isn't talked about enough, and it really needs to be. I agree, babe. And I feel like when we all go to our checkups, our 8-week postpartum checkup, that a lot, I would venture to say, I mean, I'm not, I don't have any actual studies on this, but I'd venture to say at least 50% of us lied on the questionnaire. Because damn right well, if you answer yes on that questionnaire, that's going to be in your medical record, that they're going to refer you to psych. Is that going to be a problem? Are you going to want to think that I'm not okay to take care of my kids? I mean, the cycle in your brain is going to continue to circle and circle and circle of, I'm not good enough. Why is this so hard? I need help. I can't tell anybody. I'm going to stuff it all down. I'm struggling more. I'm not sleeping more. And then it could be too late. Because it only takes quite literally 30 seconds for you to go into a psychosis. This isn't something that takes days. You can literally go into a psychosis, a postpartum psychosis, a regular psychosis, in the matter of less than a minute or two. Then you're having nonsensical thoughts, command hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. And when you come to, your whole entire life can be ruined, gone. Everything you ever loved. And the truly tragic part is that Lindsay was a, maternity, a mother and baby nurse. She knew damn right well. And so she sought the help. She went to the premier psychiatric inpatient hospital in the United States, McLean Hospital. Top tier. Nothing is better than McLean. McLean is the gold standard. And she wasn't helped. She was discharged to home. She didn't leave AMA. And days later, the unthinkable occurs. So who's at fault? No one is saying Lindsay Clancy did not commit these crimes. But was it by way of insanity? Was she not in her right mind? And that's what will need to be proven. And I pray for her husband, Patrick. I pray for her entire family. I pray for that community of Duxbury. Because I know nurses that knew Lindsay and said she was a good mom, a good nurse, a good person. And that when they saw what happened, it shook them to their core. Tracy says, if we're thinking McLean is the top, we have a long way to go because it's not. You're absolutely right. And how sad is it that when Lindsay was there, she wasn't even seen by an MD. She was just given, it was a holiday, long weekend. And she waited 4 days and wasn't assessed by a physician. What the fuck? It's not okay. So I am going to go against my better judgment and will probably be emotional wrecks. So prepare. If you're watching, if you're with me, we're going to be emotional. It's going to be emotional, but we're going to address it from a medical standpoint. And I'm going to try to keep it as even as I can. We say, hey, you pussy, Kim, you're going to be crying. You're going to be, oh, she's crying. She's crying again. Yes. White woman tears will be on display. It's sad. I'm going to be crying probably. But we can learn so much and put together the pieces that will hopefully provide the closure in some way. As the Commonwealth tries to say whatever, their version of events is. And I believe it's Mr. Reddington who is representing Lindsay. And from what I've seen, and from the filings and from Patrick's filings for their suing the providers, the outpatient and inpatient providers, for negligence, their I think infliction of emotional distress. They're suing them for a lot, but it's malpractice. If you're just giving a pill to a mother and really not following up, how are you giving an antipsychotic? How are you giving Seroquel to a new mom and giving her benzos and giving her antidepressants and just creating a cocktail that became deadly. Is pharmacology a part to blame? Those are all questions we will look in together. And if you can't, I get it. If you can't listen or watch it with me, babes, I totally understand. I can't do clearly the whole streams. We'll just do recaps every day. I'm sure. I don't actually know who else is covering it, but I hope Melanie Little, our attorney, our queen, will be covering it. And I'm sure that Emily, well, I don't know if Emily D. Baker is even covering it, but I'll do the recaps and keep us as out of the weeds as I can, and try to not be as graphic and disturbing as the entire case is, to show reverence for the family, to show reverence for everyone involved. Because that's a very difficult case. And I think it's difficult for the Commonwealth. I think it's difficult for the defense. Oh, okay. Nicole says that Mel is doing recaps as well. Probably smart. And we did learn the last day before they're going to be doing trial selection next week, or trial selection. Jesus, she's tired. Jury selection next week, is that we did learn that 4 counts of strangulation were dropped, or the counts of strangulation were dropped. And there is still homicide, like first degree unaliving charges. So the Commonwealth dropping those does not, change the upcoming trial, does not change the defense strategy. It is just them saying that we don't need these additional charges. Oh, wait, sua spontaneous. Ian Whiffen is testifying. Oh, please. Why is Ian Whiffen testifying? How did I not? Oh, Kyle Sharkey tagged me in this. In the witness list, but I don't know why we would need him. Oh, okay. Well, that's very interesting. I would want to, wow. Huh. Oh, I did see that. That's huge. Now, all right. What are we doing here? I'm looking. Jerome, do I see anyone else that I know? Thank you, Kyle Sharkey, for tagging me. No. No one else. Who do I know in Mass State Police? No one? Oh, that's interesting. I always find it interesting with Mass State Police for potential witnesses when there's ladies. I wonder what the women on the scene, what their thoughts were. Michael Kent, Tryon, McDermott, Fregus, McDonald, Ashley Fayella, Rose Stoffers, and Beth Garfield. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Okay, so now let's do something that I do know, and something that I was 100% interested when I saw this come up. I didn't see it on TikTok. I did see it on X. And holy shit, when I heard this recording from January 29th, 2022 at 7:00 in the morning to Canton, in Canton. Okay. I'm going to play it for you. And then I have some testimony that I went on you know how I do it, guys, right? I do like my magic I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's weird because that's definitely not what Yuri said. And that's definitely not what Proctor said. The order of operations, the PEMDAS from January 29th, 2022, wasn't in that way. So now I have some questions. So I'm going to need some answers. Listen to this and then we'll talk all the shit. Oh, present, share it, act normal, Kim. You can do it. Yes. Add it. Boom. If you haven't heard this, prepare to clutch, clench, and kegel, babes.
Yeah.
Corporate communications recorded by Dispatcher Merrick.
How you doing, Canton PD? It's Mike. Yeah, picture.
Corporate communications recorded by Dispatcher Merrick.
How you doing, Canton PD?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I had a question. I was wondering if you guys could you tell me who was in the ambulance with that kid who they found in the snowbank?
Okay.
Or can you have one of the firefighters call here, maybe? One of the state police guys wants to talk to him.
But, like, who they transported, you mean?
Yeah, they wanted to see what his injuries were firsthand. So whoever was in the back of the ambulance with the kid.
Just remember, one of the state police guys wants to talk to him. Okay, so this isn't the state police.
From 20, what was it, 32 Fairview? 32 Fairview.
Gotcha. Hang on 1 second. Let me just look at that.
What's that? What's that? Could you just ask me to try to find out who's in the back of the ambulance with him? Yeah, it's Holbrook. They're talking to whoever made the run. So it just needs to know who's in the back of the ambulance.
We don't have any information for who he is, but I can give you the headquarters numbers for the station if you want to call them there.
Okay.
You might have that. Are you ready for it?
Yeah. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
And giddy up. Giddy up. Who answers the phone? Stop it.
Getting police officer Dever.
Hey, this is Joe on the fire department. Just have the demographics for you.
Yep.
So
Hey,
name
Joe.
is John O'Keefe, Okeefe.
Yep.
And the address is One Meadows in Canton.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
You have reached the Canton Fire Department. If this is an emergency, hang up and dial 911. For all other business, please select from the following menu. Thank you.
And fire.
Hey, you doing? It's Ted Lehan down the police station.
Hey, how's it going?
Who the fuck
Good.
is
I was
Ted
wondering if
Lehan?
you could do me a favor. I have a phone number for Mass State Police detective.
Yep.
Any chance you could take it down and have the guys in the back of the ambulance call him?
Yeah.
All right. His name's Mike Proctor. Yeah, he just wants whoever had eyes on the guy that got transported from Fairview.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
I'll let them know once I get back.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Yep. But have a good one.
Okay. Hi. What? What? I'm sorry. Did you guys see the timestamps on those calls? This is before Officer John O'Keefe is pronounced at Good Samaritan Hospital at 7:50 a.m. I have questions. Because we know too much, okay? But we know that Mass State Police do not take over investigations unless there is a homicide, suicide, unattended death. And there was nothing at 7:27 a.m. What the fuck is going on? Thank you for this FOIA, because now we're going to go back and turn back the hands of time and watch Yuri Buchanan and Michael Proctor lie through their fucking teeth, because I knew it from jump. As soon as I saw the timestamps, as soon as I heard a name that I don't know, who the fuck is Ted Leon? And why are you calling on behalf of Mass State Police? Okay, let's go. Wait, remove. And now media asset. Let's start with Michael Proctor.
Sort of how that works, or how those specific days for your on-call duties are assigned.
Sure. So a Sergeant Buchanan usually sets the on-call rotation. It's at random, and your on-call is from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Any unattended death, homicide, suicide, overdose, things of that nature that comes in during that time frame, you own it. That's your call.
Now, were you working in that capacity with the detective units on January 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And at some point in the morning, did you receive a call in regard to a situation in the town of Canton?
I did.
And what, if anything, was that? When did you first receive that call?
Sergeant Buchanan called me at approximately 6:48 that Saturday morning, advised that Canton PD had a male party that was discovered in the snow outside of a residence, and he wasn't sure what had happened. It was originally given to me as a possible medical situation.
And based on that initial call and that initial information that you received, what, if anything, did you do?
And at that point, I knew I needed to gather further information, so I contacted Detective Lank from Canton Police Department to see exactly what transpired in the morning. He had informed me that a male party had been transported to Good Samaritan Hospital with some injuries. Detective Lank didn't have much more information, so I knew I needed to contact the paramedic at the hospital, the individual who's treating Mr. O'Keefe.
Now, before we get to that, if I could, I'm sorry. As far as Detective Sergeant Lank was concerned, was that someone that you called on your own, or how did you get his information, or why did you call him specifically?
I knew he was on scene, so I called Detective Lank.
So that was some information that you had received at some point earlier, and then you contacted, Detective Sergeant Lank.
Correct.
And following that, you reached out to whom? I'm sorry?
Firefighter Anthony Flamati.
And with reference to that conversation, what, if anything, did you learn from that?
Okay, Ms. Devine. He is? Huh. I don't know him. Never heard of him. Why was he calling the fire department on behalf of Michael Proctor at 7-something in the morning? Again, 30 minutes prior to Officer John O'Keefe being pronounced at Good Samaritan. He said he reached out to Lank. And then he called Flamati. Flamati called and talked to Dever. Why? Just an FYI to everyone in the chat, Mass State Police is not called for medical events in lawns, no matter what. Because if so, Mass State Police would be everywhere, in every town, at all times. Because there are medical events that occur in every town. If it is not an unattended death, if it is not a suicide, if it is not a homicide, if it is not unusual, this doesn't happen. So why did it happen? Make it make sense. That recording, that FOIA requested recording, is shocking and should make your skin crawl. Something was rotten in Denmark. We knew it. We've always known it. But I never heard it. And now we've heard it with our own ears. Hold, please. Now let's listen to Yuri be a lying sack of shit.
Did Michael Proctor respond to 34 Fairview either, did he?
No, he did not.
You already indicated and you described in some detail that Massachusetts State Police took over the investigation from Canton Police Department around 8 or 9 a.m., correct? They're following certain protocols.
Yes, at some point in the morning, once it was determined that Mr. O'Keefe was gravely injured and was being transported to the hospital with no signs of life, and we were advised that he had an estimated 10% of survival rate, we engaged our services and responded to Canton Police to begin the investigation.
So the answer to that question is yes, correct?
Yes.
You'll often work with a local police agency, even though Massachusetts State Police may have statutory jurisdiction over the case because it's a homicide, right?
Yes, part of our mission is to aid and assist local police departments when they request it. In this specific situation, as I stated earlier, the DA's office has exclusive jurisdiction over death investigations, and our office has that responsibility of investigating those cases. But we work very well with local departments.
Yeah, you have exclusive rights to death investigations, not to life investigations and medical transports. When did you hear that Officer John O'Keefe had a 10% chance of living? Because I didn't hear that. I heard Flamati talk to Dever, and give the demographics. What happened here? What really happened? I think that audio has just opened up a can of worms that may never be closed. And if for the first time in a long time, I feel hope that this may result in answers and finally getting answers from maybe Ted. Let's call Ted. Ted, do you remember what happened? You remember why you were calling? Because a patient isn't transported to the hospital without signs of life. They would have been pronounced at the scene if there was no signs of life. That's what people do. That's what the police would have done. They would have called Mass State Police and said, we have an unattended death, and that this is somebody who was, we had multiple, signs that there was no life here. You have to have at least 2 to pronounce. Anthony Flamati will tell us in his testimony that Officer John O'Keefe was a viable candidate for resuscitative events and for efforts, rather. We know that he was not rigid. We know that his body temperature was 80 degrees. Upon temperature that was checked at where? Good Samaritan Hospital. This doesn't make sense. So I want to know who gave you that information, at what point in the morning, and why at 7:20 something Mass State Police was reaching out to Canton PD and to the fire department. And they wanted info prior to Officer John O'Keefe being pronounced unalive. Period. I demand it. Like, you can say, babes, there's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, there's a coincidence. There's a lot of very uncomfortable coincidences in this case. I call bullshit. I call bullshit to the other side. I call bullshit to any anti. I call bullshit to the fourth room women. I call so much bullshit that if you can't objectively see that something was off here, then you're not looking at facts. Your bias is showing if you don't see that there is something radically wrong. And how did it come to be? That is the question, and that will bring the answers for Officer John O'Keefe. I'm telling you. I particularly have like a spark that has been reignited because I've felt so like low for a long time. And I felt like it was devastating, even after the highs of high of Karen being acquitted. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Nothing will take that day and make it anything other than a moment in time that was fated. But if our guts tell us anything, and if intuition is telling anything, it is that time is almost up. And that Officer John O'Keefe will have justice. Amen. It's putting an itch on my ass for sure. Absolutely. And Laurie says, a little bit behind, but wasn't it because they were conflicted off, not defending anyone, just wondering? Laurie, absolutely. You are 110% right. They were conflicted off as soon as it became a death investigation. For what it was at 7 something in the morning was a medical emergency. And you're not conflicted off a medical emergency. So why were they calling and looking for who had eyes on Officer John O'Keefe? That's weird. It's a weird way to say it. The kid that was found in the snow. Huh. It's not sounding like the gravely injured that resulted in death that was actually what happened. Yeah. Yeah, Amy. Very weird. So if your spidey senses are going up, let's fucking tingle all the way. And I'll tell you what. Twitter is a cesspool. It is the devil. But we get our news there sometimes. And what I'm going to do is get my ass back to focusing like laser focused on all of the medical stuff. Okay? Because that's what I'm here for. Medical, reviewing what really happened before Officer John O'Keefe was pronounced, because that is the key. And if we can find that out, I think that changes everything. Not to be dramatic, but like it's dramatic, in my opinion. Amen. Amen. The bodies don't and can't lie. And that is why we all said you don't need to be Dr. La Posada. You don't need to be Dr. Irene Scorti-Bello to know that Officer John O'Keefe's injuries were not only inconsistent, but they were inconceivable with being struck by Alexis in reverse, clipped by Alexis in reverse. Stop. Stop it. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. M. Coop, are we doing a detective girl summer? Yes, we are. Bitch. Let's add a fourth job. She's a detective. She's hearing things. Now I'm like, wait a minute, that just, and you know how our brains work. We're a bunch of ADHDers, and we're like, wait a minute, that led me to this and that led me to that. And thank you, the Trial Channel, for having everything at my fingertips so I can go back and say, wait a minute, let me go listen to the testimony of blank. Now, after I get off with you guys, guess what I'm going to go listen to? The testimony of all the paramedics. Because I want a timeline. Facts matter, journalism. All right, I love you. We are clutching our pearls. We are 100% clutching our pearls, babe. And my Morgan Taylor, my lovey, look at my baby. She's our baby. This is our baby, okay? She's our only 18 to 25. She hangs out with her aunties. Lack of urgency on those calls for a fallen officer is so off-putting too. Something was already up. Yes. Everybody knew. Everybody knew who was that? Who was it? Who it was. Who it was. And as somebody, okay, this has always rubbed me the wrong way too, babes. When we found out and we heard the 911 call from Jennifer McCabe, go back. And it's like, I have family members, from my father to my cousins, to my uncles, to my grandfather was the first Waltham cop that was a motorcycle cop. Stop it. When you know that somebody is even off-duty law enforcement, when you are calling in a 911 call, Jen doesn't know that he is not with us. She's at the car. Right? You'd say, John O'Keefe, that's pertinent info. Because she would have known, because everyone knows that if you say whom someone is, and I know it doesn't matter and it shouldn't be different, but people are treated differently. You never said it. Why? Berkowitz went out of his way. Former Chief Berkowitz, rest his soul, went out of his way to ensure that he reached out to a newspaper to say that they were going to run a headline that said Boston police officer found on the lawn of another Boston police officer. He called in a solid. He said, you can't write that. And they didn't write it. Yet, WBZ had to go and recant their fucking statement because they had put in the first initial media release that there was Ring camera footage that showed all of it on camera. Nope, JK, there's no cameras anywhere. All the cops in all the land, and only Brian Albert and Kelleher don't have any security cameras. Meanwhile, John's got fucking Fort Knox at his house. One Meadow is cammed up. These are the only two police officers who just, we don't believe in it. We don't have anything. God, I don't know what happened to it. Kind of like the coinky dinks of your cell phones and your butt dials. Who else did you fucking butt dial? Now I want to know. Who were you calling at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning? Show me it all. Tell us everything. If you have nothing to hide, like if I had nothing to hide, take it. Take it, forensically download. Oh, wait, you can't, because not only did you get rid of your cell phone, but you changed your phone number and your carrier. Stop it. That's weird. You can't just chalk things up and say, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, well, shit, it happens. Okay, you've had the same fucking phone number since 1997, Bri. And then all of a sudden, the day before you were being served with a preservation order, you happen to get rid of the phone, get a new carrier and a new phone number. Stop. Stop it. At the very least, it's sus. And the Sally Port is haunted. The ghosts of Sally's past. Sally Port, Sally's past. And Law Nerd says, JOK, Officer John O'Keefe would have never treated someone the way he's been treated. It's so sad. He deserves better. Let's do it for him, Detective Kimmy. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not someone who subscribes to the fact that that Officer John O'Keefe has been lost in all of this, because Officer John O'Keefe is in every one of your hearts. And I know that. But now, the forefront. Now, he needs to be the one that we listen to, that we listen for, that we search. And hashtag can't stop, won't stop. If you keep asking the questions and we keep having incredible people that are doing FOIAs and that are able to have some random memory triggered and be like, well, wait a minute, that's not what was said. And wait a minute, that time doesn't add up. If we all collectively remember that and remember that it's always been bigger than any one of us, and that together we're able to look at things and look at it differently. You're going to see things different than I'm going to see it. But if we can find something and bring it to attention, bring it to the forefront, then that's us doing Officer John O'Keefe right, in my opinion. And in the end, that is doing the O'Keefe family justice, in my opinion. And Noni's Treasure House, we ain't got no quit. Justice for Officer John O'Keefe. And on that note, my babes, I'm going to go through our little supers because I'm a super asshole and sometimes I forget. Let me go through this. We're going to do a Wednesday stream, okay? You come and see me tomorrow. I've got to go get a passport. I was supposed to go today, but I didn't have my birth certificate. Want to know why? Because I'm a fresh girl and I don't know where my birth certificate is. So I've got to go get that tomorrow, Waltham City Hall. And then I have an appointment to finish up the passporting, which needs to be expedited. And then I will be home. So if you're around at between 4 and 6, maybe, if that works for you, let's meet each other. All right. Because I love your face. Thank you. All right. And to Never Zen Jen, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member, Lovey. I appreciate you for being here consensually. Eliz 616 is a member of Nurse Kim's, and she's not afraid to show it. Courtney 8745 has been a member here for 8 months and says, my grandson's dad died of an overdose. It's so very sad. Courtney, I'm so sorry for your loss and to the loss of your grandson, of his father. It's something that none of us ever want to live through. And I think that if you could just put yourself in someone else's shoes sometimes and realize that, nothing is worth being nasty. And that, like, you can be good to people and lift them up. And to my GG's, oh God, Jesus, GG's send graven the silver clinks. Oh God, Gigi is engraving the silver clinks. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Gigi. You are amazing. And yes, we are afraid to tell the truth. The stigma of not being normal. I know, babe. You're so right. And to Kerry Cove says, I've missed your lives and love being a little lovey. Thank you. Thank you for being here, babe. We're back. We're back. Are we better than ever? Absolutely not. We've never been that great, but we're here. We showed up. And Melissa, 32, thank you for consensually coming to this house. It is psychotic. There is no rhyme or reason to any of it. And Gigi's engraving the silver clinks gifted 5 Nurse Kim memberships. Why? Because she is not like Joey Kane. She doesn't do it one at a time. Okay. She doesn't make us dance for our dollars. That's my gal. I appreciate you. And thank you so much to Jody 617 for becoming a member. And to, yes, that's Jody again, because I love her times 2. Lori Marie has been a member at my house for 19 months. It's hard, but to become better, we need to learn. And babe, I'll tell you what, I learn something new every day. Okay. If you are the teacher, Cheech, if you're still here, you're the teacher and the student, always. And we need to be able to learn from each other. If I'm not learning something, what is the point? If I'm not hearing another opinion, another perspective, what's the point? We all are valuable. We all have shit that can teach another human being something. I'm never going to be too proud or think I know too much in this life. I hope if God allows me to live to be 80 years old, I pray that I learn something till the day that I go home. And to Megan A1 has become a consensual member at Nurse Kim's house. You are a lovey. I love your glasses. You're so pretty. Cassie baby, I starred this because I couldn't talk about it when I was on the heels of, or I didn't catch it in time. I am going to the P.O. box. Shall we do it? Shall that be what we do tomorrow? Maybe. We're going to the P.O. box. I haven't been. I did get your message. I'm going to get it. And then we will go through everything together because you guys are absurd and kind to me. And it makes my heart pitter patter. I can't even handle it. Like, I am not worthy, but I thank you so much for thinking of me. And thank you to Nels 20 for becoming a member at my house. And to bless Texas Lolly. I love you and your passion, Kim. I am a weirdo, but I'm your weirdo. Okay. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being with me tonight. I'm sorry that this was all over the place. We talked about a lot of things, but I hope we leave here tonight feeling, I don't know, a sense of being together, of caring about things that we care about fighting for what we believe in, about lifting each other up. And thank you for being my best friends from out of town. I appreciate it more than you know. I love your faces. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.